This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know it, and so do I. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today is Monday, November the 24th of 2025, day 328th of the year, and only 37 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there. Radio Big. Oh, yes, hanging out with our friends at Radio Big, no doubt about that, doing all the fun stuff that we get to do. Anyways, how's the last 24 hours or so been for you? Really, probably longer than that, because it's been at least since Friday since we last hung out. So hopefully everything is good and grand inside of your neck of the woods, as we are doing all the fun stuff that we get to do around here, no doubt about that. Anyways, with that being said, it is Monday. Yeah, it is that short week. It's like that extreme short week. If we had all common sense, we wouldn't even be here today. You know what I'm saying? We would be hanging out doing some other stuff. But, you know, it is that weird work week, because it's like a 3-day work week if you're here in the U.S. for the most part, because you normally don't work Thursday and Friday unless you're in retail. Because this is the big week for retailers, depending on how you take a look at it. So anyways, let's talk real quick about what our show consists of. Our show consists of safety in the news and safety. That's kind of how we go about, do our thing. We talk a little bit about this. We talk a little about that. We bring in some professional broadcasters as they are doing their thingo, as they go through the whole portion of what is happening, what they're talking about, and everything along those lines. So if you're good with that, then you're in the right show. If you're not good with it, well, then you can still stick around here on Safety FM. We'll get you to something else at some point, also on radiobig.fm. So apparently, I guess I need to do this. I need to do this right away. And I'm going to mess up the show today. It's really what it's going to boil down to. Because I normally don't start off our main portion by doing it at the very beginning, but it seems that we need to do this.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's do main story time starting off right away. And people would probably go, why are you doing main story from the very beginning? Well, apparently there was a level of confusion on Friday. So if you were not hanging out on Friday, not a problem. I'm not gonna be offended by not hanging out, but let's talk about this. On Friday, we did a story. We did a main story. We didn't do a main story on Friday. I phrased that incorrectly. We're doing a main story right now about what happened on Friday. And apparently there was some confusion on what was going on. So I want to make sure that we're very specific here. I had several people reach out to me in regard to this. So I want to make sure that I go through this. I'm here, and it is Monday, and we talked on Friday on Safety FM with Jay Allen. So if you have followed that podcast for a while, Safety FM with Jay Allen, or Safety FM is what we called it originally, was the original show on our network. It was the originator of everything that we started down. I don't know how that just happened. How everything that we started down. It was the first show that we did on the network. On Friday, if you took a listen to Safety FM with Jay Allen on episode 777, I addressed that we would no longer be doing that show. And I think there was some problems here. Because as you know, and I know, we don't like to read. We don't like to read a lot. And so what happened was there was a reference on there that the show would no longer be there. And for some reason, some people thought that it was referencing that I was no longer going to be doing anything, period. Like, period. And I don't know how that confusion came about. So just to be clear, Safety FM with Jay Allen will no longer exist in the current capacity. I will not be bringing that show back. Or at least I don't think I'll be bringing that show back anytime soon. We're going to leave the show there, meaning it will still be available on your favorite podcast catcher. I'm going to leave the whole 777 episodes, even though I think there's like 4 episodes that are not there. All 777 episodes available to listen to at any point if you want to do that. And I just want to make reference, because I did make reference to this. We're still here. We're still broadcasting, and we're still having conversations that matter. We're just simply focusing where our energy today, where the audience is at, is what it boils down to. And I don't know if you remember this, but earlier in the year, we were doing away with some of the shows that have been on the network that are no longer here on the network. And I said that we would be focusing more on going towards things that were going to be how the station would evolve and continue growing, and focusing on conversations that are changing out there. And it was the same thing that I said from the very beginning. The life cycle of Safety FM with Jay Allen just had come to its conclusion. And we're still going to be doing the Rated R Safety Show. We're still going to be doing the Jay Allen in the Morning Show. We'll still be doing all the other shows that you're accustomed to on the network. So you'll still have the pre-accident investigation, the Safety Pro podcast, Truck Safe Live with Brandon Wiseman, a hot podcast with no name, the Accidental Safety Pro, Safety Consultant, Safety of Work, the Practice of Learning Teams, and Safety Wars will all still be here. Yes, this year has been one of these years that we decided to part ways with people that I didn't think we'd part ways with. But it was just one of those things that had to happen. So, to make sure, and I know it's a weird main story, but it had to be addressed because I was so confused on people reaching out like, oh my God, it's over. No, it's not over. I'm not retired. I'm not leaving. This is why I was like, click here to read, click here to listen, click here. So I'm still here. And I'm going to be honest. Not that I haven't been honest till this point. I wasn't planning on coming in this week. But with all the confusion that I saw that was going on, I was like, okay, I'm going to have to come in on Monday. Because I really thought that, I'd be back next week. And I was like, no, I'll come in on Monday. We'll address this, and then we'll move forward. So, sit back, relax, SafetyFM.com, not going anywhere. Safety FM, the podcast network, not going anywhere. Safety FM, the radio station, not going anywhere. So hopefully we're good and all calm now, knowing what is happening, knowing that we are going to proceed. But this is what I thought was interesting with everything going on the pure level of confusion on why people thought I was leaving. Not leaving. Not going anywhere. And here's the funny part, is that I enjoy doing this. I enjoy interacting with you. It was that show, which was the interview style show. We had done it for a while. We had done a long form and a short one weekly for about 7 years. And I just got to the point that I started noticing that we were repurposing a lot of it, which I've already addressed before, but I figured that I guess I need to address it on this show as well. So that's what caused this to come to an end. I've said, let's focus the energy on the things that are happening opposed to making something else into the whole mess. So now that you know what is going on, you will know that we are still here. You will know that we are not going anywhere. You will know that the show that we do is still the show that we do. That's the great part about it. If it became something else, or if I was ditching, believe me, I will get, when I decide to call it a day, which I don't think it'll be anytime soon, unless something horrific happens, I will give you ample warning that this is when I'm leaving. This is when I'm done. It won't be like, okay, I'm done. And listen, it wasn't like an overnight thing with Safety FM with Jay Allen that we just said, okay, cool, pull the plug. That wasn't the case. It was just, it had ran its cycle. And that's it. And sometimes in life, that's what happens. Things run their cycle, and then you just say, hey, it's time to move on, dear John. Well, at least I would hope you would say it's time to move on, dear John. So that's it. That's what's going on. It's not as big as people thought. So we're good. We're good. So if you're good, I'm good. Let's move forward and get into some other stuff. We're going to have to do that right after this.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
From Feature Story News in New Delhi, I'm Neha Punia. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says he's very optimistic after making, quote, tremendous progress in talks with Ukraine over an American proposal to end the war with Russia. The Trump administration has imposed a deadline of Thursday for Kyiv to accept the 28-point plan, which contains many concessions that Ukraine has long rejected. Kate Fisher is in Washington.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says he's made good progress with Ukrainian officials in Sunday's talks in Geneva, describing them as very, very meaningful. He said both delegations were working through the peace plan point by point and making adjustments to narrow the differences. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says he's made good progress with Ukrainian officials in Sunday's talks in Geneva, describing them as very, very meaningful. He said both delegations were working through the peace plan point by point and making adjustments to narrow the differences.
I feel very optimistic that we can get something done here because we made a tremendous amount of progress.
That optimism echoed by the Ukrainians. But even as the officials were meeting, US President Trump was attacking Ukraine on social media, writing in all caps that Ukraine's leadership had expressed zero gratitude for the US's efforts. The talks in Geneva are continuing, with Secretary Rubio making it clear that although progress has been made, there's some work left to do.
The US and Ukraine will hold further negotiations on Monday in Geneva. European national security advisors also joined some of the meetings as Europe continues to advocate for any peace plan to be more favorable towards Ukraine. Ross Cullen is in Geneva.
Well, the US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, said it had been a very good day. And he said that there were some proposals where it was just a matter of semantics. There were other proposals which required higher level discussions. And there were some proposals that just required more time, he said. He's been holding talks with Andriy Yermak, who is Volodymyr Zelensky's chief of staff, and he did say that he would be working very clearly with an agreed position that had been set out by the president of Ukraine to achieve a just and lasting peace.
Russia has yet to react to the talks in Geneva, but has earlier voiced its readiness to be part of any negotiations. Russian politicians are saying any peace plan has to be thoroughly discussed to make sure Russia's own interests are well taken into account. Meanwhile, China's foreign minister Wang Yi has said it was shocking for Japan's leader to openly send a wrong signal concerning Taiwan. Tensions ignited after Japan's new prime minister said this month that a Chinese attack on Taiwan threatening Japan's survival could trigger a military response. Laura Westbrook is in Hong Kong.
China's top diplomat Wang Yi is the most senior Chinese official to have commented publicly on the issue. He says Japan crossed a red line that must not be touched. China claims Taiwan as its own to be reunited by force if necessary. This month, Japanese Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi suggested Tokyo could take military action if Beijing attacked Taiwan. China has also raised the issue with the UN, vowing to defend itself. Tokyo, meanwhile, dismissed as entirely baseless Beijing's claims that its Prime Minister, Sanai Takaichi, had shifted Japan's Taiwan policy. The G20 summit did little to ease tensions, with Takaichi and Chinese Premier Li Qiang keeping their distance from each other. Laura Westbrook, Hong Kong.
Severe weather is hitting parts of the U.S. as millions of Americans are traveling for the Thanksgiving holiday, as Tammy Trujillo is reporting.
An active weather system is expected to cause poor travel conditions from Louisiana to Indiana in the early part of the week. Then forecasters say on Wednesday and Thursday, cold air from Canada could turn all that moist air into snow, creating winter-like conditions across much of the central U.S.
The G20 summit, the first to be held in Africa, wrapped up over the weekend in a gathering that was conspicuous because of the absence of U.S. President Donald Trump. The next G20 summit will be held in the U.S. in 2026, but because the U.S. failed to send a senior official to the ceremony, the customary handover of the presidency did not happen. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN. The main news again. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says he's very optimistic after making, quote, tremendous progress in talks with Ukraine. The United States and Ukraine will continue holding further negotiations on Monday after a day of high-level talks centered on America's so-called 28-point peace plan. And that is the latest feature story news. Neha Punya reporting.
We are radio. We are sarcasm. We are both combined. Radio Big.
Today's show is brought to you by Monday, the day of the week that looks you dead in the eye and whispers, good luck.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home title locks put a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
You ever hit the wall, burnout, stressed, or just feeling that everything is piling up and thought, yeah, I probably need to talk to someone? The problem is finding the therapist who actually takes your insurance feels impossible at times. That's where Rula comes in. Rula is a healthcare company that makes mental health care easy to access and actually affordable. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, so the average copay is about $15 a session, sometimes even less. With Rula, you get matched with the right therapist for you, not just whoever's available. Their network has over 15,000 licensed professionals, and you can book an appointment as soon as tomorrow. No wait list, no frustrations, just therapy that works with your schedule and your insurance. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that actually covered by insurance. Visit Rula.com/safetyfm to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you there. That's RULA.com/safetyfm. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. Go to Rula.com/safetyfm right now to get started. That's RULA.com/safetyfm because you deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Turkey's in the oven, but the timer's gone rogue. Grandma's in the kitchen doing her gravy dance vogue. Uncle Joe's in the corner with his stretchy pants on. The dog stole a drumstick, now the bird's half gone. Mashed potatoes in a pile so high, but where's my slice of pumpkin pie? Gobble, 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 hey, pass the rolls. Stuffing's got secrets and the cranberries cold.
Okay, this is what this week's going to look like. Yep. A lot of Thanksgiving stuff, a lot of stuff to talk about. No doubt about that as we are hanging out, doing our thing on this lovely episode of the Rated R Safety Show. So no doubt about that as we are hanging out on this lovely Monday. So are you ready? I'm ready. Let's start talking about some things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because I think that is what is going on. So let's start talking right away. Marjorie Taylor Greene says that she's quitting Congress on January the 5th tapping out because she's fed up with what she calls Washington's political industrial complex. In a long statement in a video, she painted D.C. as a rigged two-party circus where everyone pretends to fight, but nothing changes for regular Americans. Debt climbs, jobs disappear, the dollar weakens, and the big corporations keep eating the little guys. She said that families can't survive on one income anymore. Young people feel like the American dream is out of reach and taxpayers' money keeps getting shipped overseas. She also lobbed a subtle jab at the president, saying that MAGA was supposed to be actually mean American first, or America first. Now some mysterious master plan 4D chess. Her resignation announcement comes a week after President pulled his support for her and called her wacky. Green said that she's broken the party a couple of times, pushed bills to leadership that won't touch, and dealt with nonstop threats, legal fights, and personal attacks. Take a listen.
Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old, trafficked and used by rich, powerful men should not result in me being called a traitor and threatened by the President of the United States, whom I fought for. However, while yes, hurtful, my heart remains filled with joy, my life is filled with happiness, and my true convictions remain unchanged, because my self-worth is not defined by a man, but instead by God, who created everything in existence. I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms, and in turn be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me. I'm going back to the people that I love, to live my life to the fullest as I always have, and I look forward to a new path ahead. I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026, and I look forward to seeing many of you again sometime in the future. May God bless you all, and may God bless America.
Okay, so there you go. There's some changes of some things that are going on, no doubt about that, as we are talking. Will it have an impact on the Republican Party? It depends on how you're taking a looky at this stuff. Do you think that she's gone, or do you think that she'll be back in some other efforts? I mean, if she's calling the two-party version a circus, it's going to be a hard one to take a look at for sure as we are going forward. Anyways, a Southwest Airlines passenger absolutely lost it at Denver International Airport after finding out that her flight was delayed and overbooked, and the meltdown ended up on TikTok. The woman wearing white sweats and a green crop top went from upset to full-blown explosive. She filmed the staff while yelling like, "Do you guys feel safe? And how dare you treat me this way?" She even demanded that the gate agent to be fired on the spot and tried to get another involved in calling their removal. Witnesses say that the rage hit overdrive when she learned that she couldn't board, not because she complained, but because the flight was already full. That didn't slow her down. She paced the gate area shouting, "Why is our plane late? Why are we not boarding?" and threatened to sue employees that she blamed for everything. Her tirade reportedly went on for nearly half an hour before airport security showed up and escorted her away, leaving the rest of the terminal stunned and probably grateful for noise-canceling headphones.
How dare you treat me this way? How dare you? Who are you? I ask you, why is our plane late? Why are not we boarding? And you tell me that I can't board now? Because I question why is it late? Because we have a schedule. Where's the camera? Roll it back, please. You're shaking. Who's gonna come? Who's gonna come and get you fired? Because this is not okay. This is not okay. I asked you, why is our plane not boarding? And you told me that I'm kicked off because you have a full flight and you need to give the seat to someone else? That's exactly what happened.
You know, when you get to that point of aggravation, I really start thinking maybe it's time for you to consider flying private.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying.
He is trying to be entertaining.
Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so stop me when you hear this one, and if you're already familiar with it. Miss Mexico Fatima Bosch, 25, won Miss Universe 2025 in Bangkok, becoming Mexico's fourth title holder for the first time since 2020. She topped Miss Thailand, Miss Venezuela, Miss Philippines, and Miss Ivory Coast in the final five. Miss USA placed in the top 30. The pageant was drenched in controversy from the moment contestants arrived. During the sashing event, executive director publicly scolded Bosch for skipping the social media shoot, calling her a dummy. Bosch fired back, accusing him of being disrespectful and disrespecting her as a woman. The confrontation triggered out a walkout of dozens of contestants, including the reigning Miss Universe Victoria Delving. Backlash was so strong that the removal of the director, the director was removed from his role. Judge Omar Kawash later resigned, claiming that the top 30 had been secretly chosen before the judges voted. The Miss Universe organization denied the improvised jury or secret selection process. Bosch was ultimately crowned by the outgoing Miss Universe during Friday's finale.
Miss Universe is Mexico! And can we please give a round of applause for our first runner-up, Miss Thailand!
So there you go. Controversy creates cash is the way that it sounds as we go through stuff. No doubt about that. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things. I don't know exactly where to start with this one, but maybe we should start somewhere where it might be worth taking a listen to. Maybe that is one of those things that we go through. So there's a lot of stuff that is going on, so I don't know where to go, but let's go ahead and talk about this one. A lab-grown dairy product called Unreal Milk. Yes, I did say Unreal Milk, made from mammalian cells grown in bioreactors instead of actual cows, is expected to hit the U.S. grocery stores next year. And the backlash is already loud enough to curdle the stuff. The company behind it, Brown Foods, says that its cell culture process creates real milk protein, fats, and carbs, and they're using regulatory shortcut self-affirmed GRAS status to sell without waiting years for full FDA approval. Supporters claim that the greener, more stable, and could even be engineered to mimic milk from any mammal. Yes, including humans ones. Critics, meanwhile, are lighting up social media, calling it lab-grown garbage, demanding bans and accusing biotech companies and rumored billionaire backers of trying to replace traditional farming. Nutrition experts and daily farmers can also warn that no long-term evidence it's as healthy as real milk, especially for kids. Unlike other alt dairy products made through precision fermentation, Unreal Milk uses actual cow milk, producing cells grown in the tanks, which may allow it to legally call itself milk. Or let me try that.
Milk.
Taste tests are happening now, but public opinion, let's just say it's chunky. We'll leave it that way. So finally, a milk that never even seen a cow. Now, not even in a Pixar movie has that occurred yet. So there you go. Some stuff to talk about. I mean, I think it's going to get weird as we continue to go down this path. As you are aware, and I am aware, things are going to continue to change this way. And I don't mean that in a bad way, and I don't mean that in a good way. It's just going to be one of those things that as it happens, people are going to have to adjust with the times because it's going to be interesting. It's not going to be the same old situation, the same old song and dance, as some people would like to say, when it's all said and done. So what do you think about this? Is this something that you will try, or is this something that you will not try? I don't know. That's why I'm asking you, because I'm not sure what you're willing to try and not try, if it's good for you or not good for you when it's all said and done. Anyways, take a listen to this one. An Indiana mom, Mercedes Wales, showed up at the Franciscan Health Crown Point in full on labor, heavy breathing, wheelchair, and the whole 9 yards after even calling ahead. Instead of help, she and her husband got stone-faced, and nurse telling that she wasn't far enough along. Security then escorted her out. 8 minutes later, she gave birth in the car on the side of the road. The hospital CEO admitted that the video was brutal to watch and said that the doctor and the nurse involved are now gone. He apologized publicly, saying that the staff failed to listen to the woman who clearly knew her own body, especially since she previously delivered at the hospital. The family also hired a lawyer alleging that racial bias played a role. In response, the hospital is rolling out cultural competency training and now requires a physician to examine any pregnant patient before they're sent home. The CEO says that he wants to meet the Wells and her husband soon and vows that this won't happen again after the roadside delivery and she was taken to another hospital for care. So there you go. Some interesting stuff talking about that, no doubt about that. But think about this for a moment. If you fire the people that allegedly did this, all of a sudden, well, you don't really have anything to investigate because there's nobody to talk to. And then if you're turning around and saying, hey, we're rolling out cultural competency training, you might have a problem that you're just admitted to if that's the immediate response. And are you wanting to meet the Wells and the husband soon because you're getting sued? And is it not happening again? You mean to another family, this won't happen again? Or is it to that family, it won't happen again because you just know that you're about to get your ass sued off? I mean, I'm just asking for a better understanding.
It's this show, and they just make fun of a whole bunch of people. It's just too funny. It's too stupid.
Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's continue talking about some other stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that is kind of what we do around here. Canadian authorities just grabbed one of the alleged right-hand man accused of drug kingpin and former Olympic snowboarder Ryan Wedling. The FBI confirmed the 32-year-old Rashid Pasqua Hassan was arrested in Vancouver by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. This comes only days after the U.S. officials amped up their hunt at Wedling. The FBI director compared him to the likes of Escobar and El Chapo. Wedling is believed to be hiding out in Mexico under Sinaloa cartel protection and is accused of pumping massive amounts of cocaine into both the U.S. and Canada, plus allegedly orchestrating the execution of the execution. Yes, I did say that. Did I say orchestrating execution? Yes, I did. Of a witness tied to the extradition case. Hassan is one of the 4 fugitives still at large from the Operation Giant Slalom, a sweeping investigation that was already taken down more than 35 people. He's changed the cocaine trafficking, exporting, and money laundering for what prosecutors call Wedling criminal enterprise. The U.S. officials have a $15 million bounty on Wedling, who remained on the FBI's most wanted list. Hussein arrest tightens the net, but the alleged kingpin is still out there. So what do you think about the whole thing? I mean, it makes everything a little bit different as we're all said and done when we're thinking about some of this stuff. What do you think? I mean, a lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse is no other way to say it.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Okay, let's do one more, because I think that, we got some stuff going on here that we definitely need to talk about. So let's see. Let's go into some of the miscellaneous stuff that we need to talk about, because that is what happens around here. A new report says that a Gerontological Society of America says that you don't need pricey biohacks routines or supplements to boost your healthy lifespan. Instead, 3 basic habits matter the most: financial literacy, longevity literacy, and longevity fitness. The backdrop isn't pretty. The U.S. life expectancy has barely budged, stuck around 79 years, and still trails other wealthy nations. Chronic disease and inequality, drug overdoses, and obesity keep dragging the nation's longevity down, even as the anti-aging industry markets expensive shortcuts and don't deliver. The report argues that understanding how to manage money over long life reduces stress, hospitalization risk, and cognitive decline. And the studies back that up. Knowing the realistic life expectancy, longevity, and literacy helps people plan smarter forms of retirement, health costs, and long-term care. A longevity fitness means that building social health and financial capital early, maintaining relationships, staying physical and mentally strong, and setting up financial stability. Those three pillars are what actually shifts lifespans and equal span of life. The reports also stress that longevity isn't evenly distributed. Education, income, sex, race, and heavily shape outcomes. Researchers show that huge lifespan gaps up to 15 years between highly educated and those with less schooling, a major difference based on poverty levels and racial disparities. The author of the individuals can prepare, but society also needs to adapt to the aging nation. They even suggest new tools like living insurance designed to support people no matter how long they live, with older adult parents projected to outnumber children by 2034. The report warns that the U.S. will need major changes in the workplace, economy, and healthcare to be able to keep up. So that is definitely some stuff to think about as we are hanging out.
Radio.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out and your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move. Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Would you really want to meet him? Would you trust a God who's smart enough to build the planets? 'Cause I'm smart enough to know there's a snake in the apple, and the smartest people here, they know it's a fake world.
Okay, welcome to our fake world.
You thought you were escaping a fake world.
Yep, you thought you were escaping a fake world. You are still hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show that apparently has not left. Because, you know, it was never leaving. Okay, this right here, Simulated World in-house rendition.
Just fell asleep and I'm stuck inside a dream.
So there you go. Let's get into the move of the groove of the things that we have going on, because that always seems like a good idea of what we should be doing. So let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. We want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, you'll see information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. That will change everything for you. All you have to do is go to the website. Okay, let's talk about some things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that is what happens from time to time.
The top spot at the box office this weekend. At the box office. The box office roundup.
The weekend box office.
At the box office this weekend.
Okay, so let's talk about the box office. Did you make it to the movies? If you didn't, let me tell you what the rollout of the land looked like, because it went something like this. Coming in at number 10 was Sarah's Oil with $772,000. And number 9 was Black Phone 2, $1 million. And number 8 was Nuremberg with $1.2 million. And number 7, Regretting You, $1.5 million. And number 6 was Sousa, Road to Revenge, $2.6 million. And number 5 was Rental Family family, $3.3 million. And numero cuatro was The Running Man, $5.8 million. And number 3 was Predators Badlands, $6.3 million. At the number 2 spot was Now You See Me, Now You Don't, now $9.1 million.
Duh.
And coming in at the number 1 spot with $150 million was Wicked for Good. I will tell you, I went to go see that thing over the weekend. You know, when you have daughters, it's kind of one of those things, the illusion of choice. Okay, so we went to see it. I want to say it's no longer than 5 minutes before you get the first song. And that's not a joke. It is boom, 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 boom. You're singing all the way through. So there you go. Some stuff to look at as we are talking. I don't know how you look at it. I understand it's a musical. I'm not saying anything wrong about that. But just look at it from the standpoint of when you get to it, it's just, I mean, one of those things that you just start off going. So there you go. Anyways, take a listen to this real quick. A Michigan man decided to buy a scratch-off lottery ticket rejected by another customer and ended up winning $1 million top prize. The Wayne County man was Faraz Petroleum LLC on Schoolcraft in Detroit. Was at there, better saying. When he spotted the ticket next to the register, there was a blazing suit ticket said aside on the counter when someone else decided not to purchase it. So I purchased it, the guy said. I scratched the ticket off and couldn't believe it when I saw it. It was $1 million winner. I never would have thought that I would have such a large lottery prize. So truly, it was a blessing. The winner said that the prize money is going into saving for the time being. Winning is a great feeling, but it also has a lot of pressure because your mind starts thinking of different ways that you can start using the money. So I guess that's one way to take a look at it. Anyways, let's start doing something a little bit more positive, and let's bring some John Smalls into our life and let him tell us about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Robert. Arnold Schwarzenegger said, "Just remember, you can't climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pockets." Such a great quote. Have you ever met somebody who was super talented or super smart, but they were not living up to their potential? I have. It makes me sad, but it also upsets me a little bit. I wonder why these people can't get their big break, but sometimes it's because their hands are in their pockets, as Arnold just said. I've seen this way too many times. They're naturally talented, but they've got no drive at all. Then there's people like me with way less talent, but so much drive. Because I'm not afraid to do things. Just get out there and do things.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
In Ukraine today, a powerful string of Russian airstrikes struck 2 apartment buildings overnight, leaving devastation and heartbreak in their wake.
NATO was quick to scramble jets from Romania and Poland after the deadly attacks, which killed at least 25 people, including 3 children. The rare, large-scale assault targeted the western city of Ternopil, an area previously considered relatively safe amid ongoing conflict. Benjamin Wright, reporting.
Police in Mexico have arrested the suspected mastermind behind the killing of Uruapan's mayor, Carlos Monzo, a crime that shocked the nation on Wednesday.
The mayor was shot during a public Day of the Dead ceremony, sparking protests and widespread condemnation of violence against public servants. Authorities say the arrest is part of a broader effort to tackle organized crime targeting officials, noting that Monzo's murder ignited calls for greater federal support. Chris Anderson reporting.
A Nigerian court today found Nnamdi Kanu, a leader of the country's separatist Biafra movement, guilty on 7 terrorism-related charges after a lengthy trial.
Kanu, recognized internationally for leading the indigenous people of Biafra, was convicted of inciting violence and unrest through his campaigns. The court's decision comes amid increasing security concerns in Nigeria's southeast, where supporters have frequently clashed with security forces. Authorities say the verdict is meant to deter attacks. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
Federal prosecutors in Chicago today moved to dismiss charges against a woman who was shot after ramming her car into a law enforcement vehicle.
The government's stunning decision reverses their previous position, coming after weeks of scrutiny over the use of force in the incident. The woman, whose actions sparked heated local debate, faced federal charges that prosecutors now say will not go forward. Officials have not detailed the internal discussions that led to the change, but stressed their commitment to public safety and justice. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Walmart announced today that robust sales this month show it's helping Americans navigate tough times and rising costs.
The retail giant cited strong revenue and increased foot traffic despite broader economic worries in the country. Walmart executives point to new programs and store upgrades as drivers of success, saying shoppers are prioritizing value more than ever. Analysts note these results highlight the chain's growing role as an affordable mainstay in the nation's retail landscape. Jessica Oakley reporting.
A new federal terrorism charge has been filed today against a man accused of setting a woman on fire on a Chicago train.
Investigators say the suspect deliberately targeted the victim in a violent incident that left bystanders horrified and authorities racing to respond. Federal officials acted swiftly, citing the severity of the crime and elevated public concern. The woman's condition remains critical, and prosecutors vow to pursue justice through every available channel. Kevin Sanders reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
No, yeah, you got to love yourself some gas station sushi, no doubt about that. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date, back in 2020. Yeah, 2020. COVID-19 surge in the U.S. gathers further pace, and the death of toll of 2,200, the highest since May, and new cases averaging about 175,000 a day. So there you go. There you go. Some stuff going on right there. That happened back on this date in 2020. Also, Pat Morita, Karate Kid actor, died in 2005. That happened all on this day, so just in case. If you're looking at some celebrity birthdays for today, let's talk about some of those. Dwight Schultz turns 78, Colin Hanks 48, Kathleen Hagel turns 47 today, and Sarah Hyland turns 35. If you are looking at some things that you ought to know for today, let's go over that. The FAA says that this year's Thanksgiving travel is shaping up to be the busiest since 2010. Tomorrow alone, the agency expects 52,000 flights, with over 360,000 flights scheduled across the entire holiday period. The FAA Administrator Brian Bedford credited air traffic controllers and staff for keeping the system safe during what he called a stretch of record high traffic. Travel demand is massive across all models of transportation. AAA estimates that 82 million Americans will be traveling between tomorrow and Monday, December the 1st, either by air or by road. So there you go. Also, here's Friday's winning Mega Million number. Jackpot was $60 million with 3, 4, 19, 31, 63, and the Mega Ball was 9. Also, here's Saturday's winning Powerball number. Jackpot was $629 million, 28, 32, 36, 51, 69. The Powerball was 2. Power Play was 2. And since there was no jackpot winner, tonight's jackpot climbs to $654 million. So there you go. Also, yesterday, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said no when he was asked whether the U.S. was at risk entering a recession in 2026, telling NBC News Meet the Press he's confident that Americans will feel economic relief next year stemming from President Trump's tariff agenda and trade deals. I am very, very optimistic on 2026. We have set the table for a very strong non-inflationary growth economy. Bessent told moderator Kristen Welker, "We also said we believe that healthcare is going to come down," adding that the Trump administration would have news at the front this week. So we'll see. And also, President Trump inserted fresh tension into his high-stakes Ukrainian-Russia peace talks yesterday, publicly accusing, the Kiev leader showing zero gratitude for the U.S. support, and the U.S. officials in Geneva were working on the show of a united front. So there you go. A lot of stuff. Anyways, that's going to end our time together at the top of the hour. I'll be going over to radiobig.fm for the next couple hours or so if you want to come and hang out with me. If not, that is perfectly fine. You can hang out here with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. If I can leave you with some words of wisdom, take a listen to this. The best way out is always through. Out through. So that's it. If you want some advice for today, here's this. Good tunes hide awkward family tensions better than gravy covers dry turkey. Just throwing that out there. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
It's not as bad as it seems. When you finally wake up, you're just in another dream. When you finally wake up, you're just in another dream. When you finally wake up, you're just in another dream.